My reasons of being here today is your comments, your challenges of mortalities, more so in kids and even goats, the big ones. I'm surprised to hear that some of you people, because one of my clients, I'm really so sorry, but some of my clients, someone called me actually, and you know what he was telling me? He was telling me for him he thinks that animals are supposed to be sprayed after like I think what 3 months or 2 months. I actually said 3. You people don't misquote these things. Get the difference between spraying and vaccination or deworming. As we always said, deworming can be done every after 3 months. That is if your animals are feeding on free range and they are feeding in the area which allows them to, to browse. What I mean by browsing is by feeding on the leaves in the vegetations which are like savanna vegetation, which has the so-called Bugando acacia umbrella trees. That condition does not give a lot of opportunities to animals to get worms. Why? Because they feed from up. Which is not the case for like these other areas where animals are feeding from the ground. If animals are grazers, if you made your animals to graze, those are the animals that feed from the ground, those that don't have opportunities of feeding from the trees. That deworming should be done every after 2 months. Those animals which doesn't have shrubs, those animals that are feeding on the grass, graze like cows, they're supposed to be dewormed every after 2 months. So animals that graze and browse, they can be dewormed every after 3 months. But spraying should be done every week. In some areas which has a lot of ticks, let's say in the areas which has a lot of rain and the grasses are high, you can even spray twice in a week. And in this case, I want you to understand this. It doesn't matter the age of an animal. They are all supposed to be sprayed. For a case of deworming, I've told you, the kids, for their case, every after 2 weeks, deworm your kids. I told you I cannot explain that you specifically use this dewormer. It depends on the dewormer that you have been using. You get it? There is a lot of dewormers which are really very good, but the usage also matters a lot. I will again talk about the spraying. If you're spraying very well, you will not expect ticks or hot water to attack you. But most of you people who call me, give me complaints, you're always attacked by hot water. Your animals might have issues, let's say, and your animal can manage its own issues. But when hot water comes, it weakens the heart and it cannot pump the blood. So that means if there was certain disease that was existing in the body, can take a chance of your body being weak, of your animals being with weak bodies, and then takes over the body immunity and kills the animal. So hot water can break, or it can start or ignite the mortality of your animals. Not necessarily being the causative agent of death, but it can enhance or speed up. You get? It works as a catalyst for other existing diseases to shoot your animals. So you people, spraying should be weekly. If rainy season can be twice in a week. But mind about the drugs that you're using for spraying. I told you, I have showed you on the chart that if you're using a drug that belongs to a certain class, make sure that you change the class of the drug for better performance. Then some other thing I wanted to maybe go through is that accidental mortalities, they can be triggered by hot water. And remember, even the worms weaken the animal. Then after the weakness of the animal, it allows it to die because it is already weak. It had worms. The animal is generally weak. If any disease comes, it can just shut it down. So you people, don't neglect what I'm explaining to you. Don't try to neglect them because you lose your money. You lose your animals. I have told you the procedures that you have to follow, more so for the kids. Hot water, I emphasize that I'm telling you, in our case, in the country, that is one of the diseases that attacks an animal without any sign. An animal goes down, cries, kick, and brings the froth. When you check the heart after death, it has a lot of water. So you people, take it serious. Those three activities. I talked about deworming, I talked about spraying, and the vaccination. I told you, vaccinate 7 diseases as per Uganda every year at least once. Every year at least once. I gave you the chart. I gave you the chart of the of vaccination. Please follow it. Vaccinate your animals. Or else, I will again explain to you. Or else, get me on my WhatsApp. I can be able to share with you the chart or the vaccination schedule. It is inclusive even to the animals. I was talking to my friend and I was telling him, please, the losses that we are incurring, it's because of our negligence. We don't want to spray. We mix other drugs which are crazy, even the killers, to spray the animals that the ticks have failed. Like those people who are mixing in drugs of pests and then you put it in the acaricide. That is very dangerous. It is because of our negligence that we are losing these animals. But if we try and do the vaccination, we can really succeed. Let me just wish you the best and bye-bye for now.